Well, hello, everybody. My name's Tom Griffin, and I'm the Chief of Police here in the city of Peabody. I'm here with a couple of my officers and one of my good friends, Charlotte Jackson. This is Lieutenant Dave Bonfanti. He works with Captain Scott Velasic in the Criminal Investigation Division. They do a lot of the community policing initiatives, and we're also here with Officer Rick Cameron. Some of you may know him as our Elder Affairs Officer. He works uptown with all the elderly folks that have some difficulties, or if they just need some advice about scams or any kind of issues they may have. They can reach out to Rick, and he's very skilled in the elder world. He works very closely with North Shore Elder Services, and he can provide a lot of good advice to them. So we may have checked in with you last spring about a program that Dave had developed on autism, where we wanted some folks to come to the police station and let us know about situations that exist in their family to help us do our job better when we respond to those locations. And it kind of sparked an idea for us to do the same thing as it relates to Alzheimer's, because there's a lot of parallels and there's a lot of concerns at the police department about people who, when they develop the conditions that surround Alzheimer's, how it can put them into some very difficult spots. And we want to be able to work with the families and work with those folks to navigate through those spots as safely and easily as possible, because it can be very challenging for the police department as well as the families. And one particular person I know who went through this is Charlotte, and I wanted her to come in and talk about it because she's had experience with the police departments and how that good relationship can make a bad situation better, and how a bad relationship can make a bad situation even worse, unfortunately. So, Charlotte, if you want to fill us in a little bit about what your experiences have been and why you think this is a good idea for us to be here today.
Sure, I'd love
That'd
to.
be great.
So my husband had dementia for 10 years, and he was a wanderer, and it wasn't fun. And when he first started wandering, I really didn't know what to do. I didn't have the experience. And I did have some education on dementia, but I didn't have the wandering part down. So he used to walk, like he would leave for hours, and he'd be gone down to like Highland Avenue. That was his place to go. And there was several times that people would think there was something wrong with him, so they would call the police department, and then the Peabody Police Department would call me, and I would go after him. I'd go after him, and he'd be fine. He'd get in the car, and he was fine. But there was several incidences that happened in another police department that was kind of sad, because obviously they weren't educated. And we need to get all the police departments educated on, how to even approach a person with dementia. You don't attack, you don't come from the back, And one time, a friend of mine called me and said that he was on Highland Avenue again, and I always made him wear a red hat so I could see him in a distance, because at that time I didn't have a GPS, and I came up over the hill, and there was 5 policemen, and they had him in a car. So, I mean, I understand where they're coming from too, because it is scary when you don't know anything about dementia. You don't know what my husband was going to do to them, and the policeman come over to me and asked me if I felt safe being with him. And I said, yes, he's my husband, and I'm fine.
He's Bill.
Right.
He's Bill.
Yeah, right. So, and then there was another time he tried to get into somebody's car because he thought it was his, and the woman went crazy, which I can understand. I can sympathize with everything going on. Another time he landed in the Chinese restaurant, went and bought food. He had no money on him. He had an ID, but he had no money. And so they again called the police on him. So the poor man, I mean, can you imagine having dementia and then all these policemen coming after you, and you're like, I don't know, it's scary. It's very scary. And then when I finally got more education and realized I needed to get him on a GPS. So I did. And that was better, but he still would fool me every once in a while. And my sons were on the GPS also. So if I couldn't find him, my youngest son always found him. So
in the last several years, there's been a lot of training in the police world because of unfortunate examples, as Charlotte just said, and police officers just not knowing how to deal with things appropriately, and us not being aware of individual people, which is why we want to kind of push forward this program. And I'll let Dave explain a little bit about what we'd like the community members to do to just make us aware of who may be out there that has some type of condition that we should be aware of.
So this all came to light with the autism program. Again, we made a mistake, just like it's important to learn from mistakes. And we made a mistake on a call, and how can we serve the autism community better? So we developed a program that you can go online and fill out, I would say, a questionnaire, and it gives different triggers. And it's really the same thing that we're gonna mirror from the autism to the Alzheimer's. This was actually the chief's idea. When I developed it, he asked me, can we also do one for the Alzheimer's? And it's really what you said. It's education. When we arrive there, once we recognize the person, there's a picture in our system. We're able to serve the people better. There's a term, it's called caretaker, and on both of our systems, it's a caretaker. And the most important thing is for someone like that to get medical attention or to be with their caretaker. So that's the programs were designed for the police to serve the community better, but it's also, of course, for the community to be served better, if that makes sense. And we're very lucky because we worked out the kinks with the autism program, and it just slid right over. It made it a very easy transition. So that was rolled out last year, and this is going to be rolled out this year. And I think it's gonna. Is it perfect? No. But will it help the officers? Yes. Will it help the community? Yes. And we all want to go home safe, and that's why we rolled.
So Rick, in your role as the Elder Affairs Officer, would this be beneficial to you to have this information as you go to deal with a situation, particularly if it's not someone you're familiar with?
Absolutely. The more information we have, the quicker we can act. And if somebody's wandering, if somebody's missing, time is of the essence. We don't know where that person went. We don't know how far away from home they got. If the conditions are bad out, if it's cold out, if it's freezing, you don't want them out too long. Sometimes people with dementia gravitate towards water. It can be dangerous. So the more we know, it's invaluable. It helps us get on the job quicker and find that person with the more information we have. So it's absolutely going to be a huge help.
Yeah, that's great. And I know there's been a lot of work in that field, and I know you've been a cheerleader for Alzheimer's research and development. Why don't you talk a little bit about some of the things you've brought? If anybody was in Peabody during the last week of September and they saw all the purple, you see what she's wearing, purple. So that's why. Why don't you explain a little bit about what you've been up to, Charlotte?
yeah, so we've had a team, Bill, after my husband died. Well, it was before he died, actually. We started in 2012. And he used to come with us, and then he went into a wheelchair and he came with us for the walk. And now last few years we've been doing it since the COVID. We've been doing it down at Peabody Square. So we do a 1 mile and a 3 mile, just like they do in Andover, and we raise lots of money. This year we raised over $15,000. We've been doing it, like I said, since 2012. We've raised almost $225,000.
Wow, that's
So,
great.
and it's helped tremendously with the research. I mean, we have 3 drugs now that they can use for, slowing it down. Ultimately, we want a survivor. I mean, and then some of the things that we did for the whole week, because we went purple. We did an ice cream social on Sunday, and thanks to the senior center, they let us use their facility, and it was wonderful. It's the first time we ever used that, so it was wonderful. And then Monday night we had a bingo, and that was fun. And Tuesday we had a flag raising, which I would love to see more people at the flag raising, because that's where you hear the stories, you know, because I always have someone there that gives a story about their life and what they're going through. And even though dementia, nobody is the same. Everybody's different when they have dementia. And the families go through horrible things. You know, people think it's a memory disease. Way more than a memory disease. It's, there's so much to it. It's like, and so many people don't get educated. So it's really hard when they have to deal with people that have it. And I do counsel several people that have it. And I feel so bad for them because I'm not going through it now. You know, he's at peace. But, yeah, what else did we do? Yeah.
We did the walk. And
oh, yeah, and then we did the walk, and it was beautiful. Sunny day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so next, if you're interested in getting involved, I'm sure you'll see a lot of advertisement for it coming next September. But from talking to Corey and some of the other folks, we're real close to hopefully having some real good breakthroughs and stuff like that. So just one last question, Charlotte.
Yeah.
If somebody is on the fence, they think they might be bothering us by providing us information, or they're just a little hesitant, what would you say to them about how important it is for us to have this information as a community member?
It's so important that when your loved one is even just diagnosed with dementia or any kind, because there's 200 dementias. Alzheimer's is only one. So you should probably call the Peabody Police, and they have a beautiful form, which I found out, you know, when it happened to me, to fill out. And there's a spot where you can put your loved one's picture and, you know, the important information, you know, that will help them find them, you know.
Well, thank you, Charlotte.
Yeah.
And I appreciate you coming out today with us.
Yeah.
But just to kind of wrap it up, this is, you know, to us, it's a very important program to help keep the community safe. So any way we can do that, we're certainly willing to try. We don't always get it right, so we want to make sure we have as much information as we can to do the job right and keep, you know, turn someone's bad day into a good day, and bring someone home safe. So,
Right.
Thank you very much, and have a great day.